Hey, it's Dan Harlan, and I'm here with my friend Bob Cassidy. How are you, Bob?
Hi, Dan. Good to be with you again.
Yeah, good to be with you, too. We're here to talk about The Artful Mentalism of Bob Cassidy, Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
So, everybody's already familiar with your great work, so we don't even have to tell them a thing, do we?
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do. What do we have to say?
Buy this book.
You know you want it anyway.
Are we done now?
I think that's it, right?
Actually, it's kind of misleading calling it Volume 2.
Why is that?
Inside info. I was against calling it that.
Yeah.
Because the implication in Volume 2 is that it's a sequel to Part 1, which it isn't.
No.
In fact, if I were to recommend an order to which to read my books, I'd recommend this one first. Because this is a compilation of writings that I did over the last 10 years.
Okay.
Some as recently as just a few years ago, others going back to about 2001.
Right.
Like the ebook Fundamentals, which is really for the person just getting into mentalism, as well as for the professional. I mean, the full title of the book is Fundamentals of Professional Mentalism.
Yeah, and it's thorough. There's a lot in there. Yeah.
It deals a lot with developing persona, being consistent with the character, understanding what your abilities are, the importance of the backstory, but illustrated with effects.
Yeah.
To illustrate each of those things. There are a lot of other books. I know you've been looking at it. What strikes you?
Yeah, well, I have looked through this. I was looking at some of the different effects that are in here, because that's what a lot of people are going to want to go to. They gravitate toward that. It's filled with useful information, and if you're serious about mentalism, you're going to want to read all of that. You know, all of the things, all the fundamentals that you're talking about, all of that kind of stuff. But I was actually struck with the variety of effects. You index them back here categorically.
Yeah.
So you've got quite a few things that you're doing with billets, a few things you're doing with books. You have one thing with a cell phone, which I want to talk about in just a second. Crystal ball, index cards, a ring and wand routine, which I know that you use that as a true-false test to illustrate whether somebody thinks that something is mentalism or not.
Yes,
you know?
that's in there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I almost put it in there just because of the outrage quality. Like, what is he doing? A ring and wand routine? But yeah, it's there for a reason. You'll understand when you read it.
Yeah, it's great. And then you got matchbooks, money, newspaper, playing cards, tarot cards as well. So you cover a diverse array of things. As far as materials that people perform with, but also you really have fully scripted everything. When I read your effects, you're reading a very good, interesting, and usually fun and interactive script.
Well, the fun of it is the writing too.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes just writing it, I'm having fun. I'll occasionally make jokes to myself in the footnotes. In some of my books, I'll put footnotes, or I'll say, see, my Principia Mentali, when it came out, I was doing this long explanation of something, and I said, see illustration on page 43. So they turn to page 43, and there's a little illustration, but it's a picture of a tree.
That's it.
And underneath it says, isn't that a nice illustration?
It's a nice little tree.
Now go back to page. It would have nothing to do with
go back to
what
what
I
you
was
were
talking
reading.
about. Yeah, to see illustration.
Just to bring us back to this book, okay? Because I was reading through all of the different effects, and you have a cell phone effect in there that's unlike any other cell phone effect.
Well, it's old.
Yeah, the concept is really neat. Now, I'm not going to give away what it is, but really, basically what it boils down to is with either your phone or with a borrowed phone, if you find the right one, at any time you can know when somebody's going to call back. And if you're using your own phone, you can use it as a secret listening device, and then have somebody call back at a predetermined time, or you can predict exactly when they're going to call
Well, the
back.
nice part of it is it's totally low tech. It's
Yeah.
nothing to do with the apps or anything like that. It was designed to use basically a throwaway cell phone.
Yeah.
Typical flip open cell phone. You don't need an Android system or iPod or whatever.
Yeah.
It just works with a cheap throwaway phone and something else you could find easily.
That's right. I love it because all of your stuff is like that. It's practical, unusual thinking, comes from a different perspective, but it's grounded in real, like all of the fundamentals of magic and mentalism. This is the stuff that we've come to expect from Bob. It's the kind of stuff that he puts in print. It's sage advice that is very straightforward and sound. You can't go wrong reading anything by Bob Cassidy.
I'm an old sage.
Yes.
Now that you said that,
right.
an old sage.
You are. That's exactly what we're
Well,
talking
give
about.
an old sage look to the folks at home.
Yeah, give them a little sage. And tell them, get The Artful Mentalism.
Buy this book. It's good for you.